Hello, everyone. This is your host, Sanjeev Goel. I'm back with another segment. A phenomenal guest, Deepesh. Deepesh Salgia is IIT Madras alum. Phenomenal guy. He's CEO of Shapoorji Group, and he is also CEO of Mughal Azam, the Mughal Azam show. Let's talk to him and talk about his journey and what is the future of entertainment. Deepesh, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Sanjeev, for bringing me on this platform. And thank you, PanIIT, for giving us such a wonderful audience. So I'm sure we're going to have some good time. And Sanjeev will take me through this journey. And I'll take me to my journey.
Dipesh, I have so many questions from you. And last year we brought you, and again this year you're bringing the show to America, and so people can experience the rich culture, heritage, really the way Broadway was done and perfected in last 100 years. So why don't you talk a little bit about your journey, any interesting story you have from IIT days?
Uh, okay, of course, there are many stories. And I'm sure, everybody would have interesting stories. But something that actually relates to Mughal Azam, I will tell you. So that I think would be of interest to our audiences. Uh, uh, in 2004, I had actually made Mughal Azam from black and white into color. That was my first association with Mughal Azam. And at that time, in OAT, the Dolby Theatre had just opened. The OAT was called Open Air Theatre in IIT Madras. So they had just opened with the Dolby surround sound system in 2004.
Wow.
So I was in touch with Professor Junjunwala. So he told, why don't you bring Mughal Azam here? And we will open the Dolby Theatre with Mughal Azam. So it's an association for IIT Madras also.
Wow.
I thought I thought that was a great idea. And the film was actually almost third or fourth week in the theaters. Normally, you don't week. No, normally in OAT you would get older films after 6 months or so in those days. तो मैंने कहा अपनी फिल्म में अपना इंस्टीट्यूट है इसमें कौन पूछने वाला अपने को you decide your own rules. So I had a great idea and there was a lot of excitement among students. So I, on a very immediate basis, I subtitled the film because a lot of audience were South Indians. So I thought, let's subtitle the film and so that people can enjoy the entire film.
Yeah,
So
they have the full experience.
Yeah, full experience. And it was absolutely a houseful show. And because of Mughal Azam association with IIT Madras, a lot of excitement was there. And despite being a weekday, it was a houseful show. Now, what is interesting I want to point out here is that the whole film was moving subtitles. But chunki it was done in a hurried manner. Because the show was like, I was given not much time. In one reel, we missed out the subtitles. Because I didn't have time to check it also, actually.
Right, of course.
Just missed out in the printing process. When those times you used to have celluloid films. So print hota tha actually. All the text would get printed actually. So there's a miss, somewhere it missed out. But what is interesting here, so I thought there'll be huge hue and cry. Suddenly people not understanding the film. It was chaste Urdu actually, not even Hindi, chaste Urdu. But the audience engagement was absolutely the same. Now, that is the power of cinema, which transcends language. Sorry?
They were able to connect emotionally.
Exactly.
And so they are able to feel the emotions of the actors.
And connect with the characters very well. So once that connect is there, and that's where I learned language is only one way of communication. And there are other ways of communication which is beyond language. And I think that is one of the learnings I saw practically, which you read a lot of theories. But since that was related to IIT Madras also and Mughal Azam also, I thought I'll share this with you on this platform.
So, Deepesh, let's talk about experience and let's talk about senses. Visual, of course, cinema and Broadway shows has perfected it. Auditory, they have perfected it. Touch up to a certain extent in the Broadway kind of environment, because when you are part of that environment. But how about the other senses like smell? How are you integrating and how do you see the integration of that in the future of entertainment? So because we talked about 5 senses. So how do you bring all the 5 senses and create a unique experience for audience?
So it's a great question, actually. Now, let me try to go to slightly to basics to come to a more advanced stage that you are talking about. Let us take what is cinema, or let me tell you what is entertainment about. Now, people say entertainment is about three E's. I also say three E's, but my E's are different. My first E is engagement, second is emotions, and third is energy. Okay. So when you a good entertainment product, so when you take cinema, it engages you. You watch, you get engaged. It brings out emotions. Now, third E is about energy. Now, that is actually where live shows actually are quite superior to a 2D cinema show. A live show brings so much energy to you. So you watch a musical concert or theatrical play, the energy that you come out with is far more than the energy you come out with you watch a cinema. Okay, because the level of engagement in is much higher in a live show. So from cinema, you move to a live show and you have one dimension of E extra, is you call energy. Okay, and that's one big reason. And second big reason for live shows now dominating, especially in countries like India, is because the audience's disposable income is increased. They want to enjoy better quality entertainment. But at the same time, there is too much fatigue with the screen. Your mobile screen, your laptop screen, your television screen, your cinema screen, all watching flat screens. You're not watching the real world. Okay. Live shows connect directly to you to art and culture and entertainment, which whether it's musical concert or drama or whatever. So that is what brings energy. So we are seeing a huge amount of growth in the live shows in India.
Nice.
And that is something like, and it's like not just 20%, 20%, it's like 40% growth, 50% growth in terms of ticket sales. Okay.
Wow.
Now that is a sign of maturing audience or more sophisticated audience now. All audiences are getting more sophisticated. They want to see entertainment. It is not just a flat screen, something more than that. So that is an addition of one dimension. Now, what you're talking is a next level where you don't have just energy. You also have like a something to your
like immersive.
Yeah, other four more senses, more immersive. Now that is where it is not only about software but also about hardware. Hardware means the infrastructure. So your cinema infrastructure also has to improve to that level, cinema or the theater hall. In India, unfortunately, we have a very, very big shortage of good infrastructure in terms of live shows. And this was not there, I would say, maybe 100 years back, when you had quite a lot of theaters. And you also have moving theaters like a Natak Mandli, going across villages and performing. Aur aapne dekha hoga Datta Mangeshkar, she also part of a Natak Mandli in those days. I mean, when she was 13-year-old. And there's those moving platforms would go to cinema, small villages, perform, and move on to the next village.
Right.
And cities had what do you call Natyagraha Mandal or like a drama theater. जब सिनेमा आया, सिनेमा dominate करना शुरू कर दिया.
True.
And that was because of the costs.
Yeah.
Cinema is about democratization of art in a way. It reached large audiences at much lower cost.
100%.
But art is one that actually supports the artist.
True.
Because every time you come and pay, cinema में artist को एक बार मिलता है.
Yeah.
So it helps. Cinema actually helps big artists get money. Theater helps small artists get money. So थोड़ा वो भी factor है. So I think as audiences are getting matured and more sophisticated, there will be a need for the content that you're looking at. What is the bottleneck is not the software part of it, which can be improved. We already have creative talent, but the hardware part of it. So I think we'll have to see that progress, how that moves. And of course, software depends on hardware, and hardware depends on software. So it's a chicken egg story also. But I think a lot of investment is required in hardware, and the market is to grow to a certain extent. Then people make investments in such hardware and software. So it's a sort of a cycle that we'll have to look forward to.
Yeah, like devices like Vision Pro completely probably will transform the way we consume content.
I think you're absolutely dot on the on the point that after 3 years or maybe 5 years down the line, with AR, VR, and 360-degree kind of shoots possible, what you would see in entertainment would be very different, very, very different, almost as much as like watching a 16 black and white film and a CinemaScope color film. That huge difference you will see in these technologies.
True. So, Deepesh, entertainment is evolving, right? Because the consumers are all everywhere. In fact, I'm planning to watch this ABBA experience in London on Monday.
Nice.
And I've been told it's phenomenal experience. Let's see how it's going to be.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, we have this new thing called a sphere, where you are inside this huge dome-like shape and LEDs all over you, and you are having this such an immersive experience.
Yeah.
So where are we going? Where do you see in terms of the entertainment industry, it is going that, like, I will use the term mixed reality. I don't know if it is mixed reality or not, but it just all the senses are somehow entertainers or the media players are trying to figure out a way to give more and more immersive experience. Where is it going?
See, I think it's a very pertinent question, but also quite difficult in the sense that every market will have different trends. Now, why I tell you the different trends is that, like, culturally, India is very different from the West, right?
Sure.
And the income levels are very different. But at the same time, you have the percentage of people who are, or the numbers of people who are super rich or beyond a certain level of income is actually more in India, because there are equally more and more poor people. So average income will not give you the right benchmark. New products in entertainment are typically tried by those who can afford it. And those numbers in India mein kafi hai. There are good numbers of people who can try new products. So that's a different part of Indian market. US market mein there are large number of mid plus income level people. So there is in terms of economics also, the markets are in a way different. Okay. Now, having said that, you're asking where the things are moving. I personally feel that, the trend would be offered if you see how the web has moved. Web was, if you see 1990s mein or early 2000 mein, you go to a portal like India, like a Rediff or a Yahoo in US, and you go and you see and you get the information. Then we moved to what called engagement. It was not one-way traffic. It was two-way traffic. People want to put comments. They want to post. They want to share. They want to like. But that came in 2004, 5, 6, 7. You have Web 2.0 or whatever. So I think the entertainment also will have this kind of trend which can engage audience in a larger manner, in which they can share. And maybe tomorrow, for example, they can be part of the content. You can say, okay, the whole thing is there. Shah Rukh Khan is, Deepika Padukone is there. Everything is there. Can I be part of that? If you can do that,
I'd like to be.
the next level. It's the next level. And I
Let's
think
not
that's
go
not
to
very
deep
difficult. So you could be playing a song with Deepika Padukone, and people pay premium price for that. There are people who would pay for it. So I think that may be another level of engagement. Or people may just part of a crowd. If you can't afford too much, you may just part of a crowd. And that crowd, you are there. So that's another, thing it's like that's one trend I would see you can probably derive from the way web has moved.
No, Deepesh, I do agree with you. And there is a remarkable difference apart from the cost factor is when you are in an environment like a theater, we talked about it, is you are emotionally more connected. So instead of three-dimensional, it become more multi-dimensional. That's how I can share, because you have the actors and actresses physically there. The energy is very different. The people in the theaters are very different. So it's such a unique experience, and it's all about connecting yourself when you are acting with the audience or other way around. And it is, whether it's entertainment or a cause or a classroom, you and me both know all the contents are already there on YouTube. Everything is there digitized, but going to classroom hasn't changed. Experiencing the classroom environment where there is a professor and teaching aid, and he's still using a lot of digital assets, but that experience is very, very unique. And so we both know that physical experience is not going anywhere. People would
Absolutely.
like to have, and even in the COVID, we saw people were craving for that physical experience. That learning was so important. Even work from home is changing now. A lot of companies have started, no, let's meet 2 days a week, 3 days a week. So a lot of interesting changes are happening. But coming back to the future of entertainment, and you brought up a very important point, energy. So, can you elaborate a little bit more about how in future this energy can be possibly some way of digitizing that, or something else is possible, or anything you can talk about how to create that energy? Because a lot of our friends are now in entertainment, which is fascinating to me. An engineer turned an entertainer in a way, or it's a really really different world now. All the different fields of engineering are also integrated into that. I've seen some theaters, and it is such an unbelievable experience how the stage moves. Cirque shows are in Las Vegas are famous. Like the pool comes and the water goes, and then the stage comes. It just so many moving pieces. It's not just a pure show. It's much more technologically advanced. So, what do you think about that?
So you have brought about 2 million points
Yes,
altogether.
but let's
Amazing.
talk about the energy. Energy
Yeah.
is something so important because it's all about creating the energy.
Yeah. So what reminded me, what the thought that came to me for my mind was that you were saying transforming energy. So the first thought मैंने mind में आया when I took of energy is actually Einstein. E is
Okay.
equal to mc square. That's what everyone remembers. It's not about
Right.
IIT. But what actually came to mind was the 80s का एक Star Trek का film था, Star Trek. We saw in India in 80s,
Mhm.
where a man mass can transform to energy, and then energy becomes mass again. So the same mass means a person can travel across so many miles in few seconds. So there's energy into mass and mass into energy.
Mhm.
Okay, that was one experience. Again, it was just science fiction, but that was thought that time. But basically, why do you need energy? Let's say, why do you need energy? That's a fundamental question. Let's answer that. Why the need for energy? I think the larger reason for energy is that you are. I mean, I'm talking more philosophically and or more in a form of a yogic theme. Is that we are deprived of energy. The stress levels and toxins actually suck up on energy, and you're deprived of energy. We want to regain that energy. So when you actually meet a person, then working from home, आपने हैंडशेक भी किया और मिला, तो आपको उसकी एनर्जी मिलती है, and he gets your energy. So energy multiplies. I'm taking very in a way
Broader
different,
concept.
also at the level, what yoga teaches or chakras teach, that every human or every organic being has energy. अगर आपके घर में कुछ नहीं इंसान नहीं होता है, तो what do? You have a pet at home. Pet also gives you energy.
True.
He has frequencies, what you call natural frequency. So there's energy coming out from a very human being. Okay. So when you have live shows, that energy comes to you. So basically, you are looking at a way to give you energy because you want to energize your body, your cells, because you got depressed. That's the larger theme. Now, all these new technologies also work towards that. Whether water movement hoga, yeah, whatever splashes come and light comes, it's about giving you more energy. So I think it's the real, again, another breakthrough they're saying would come if somebody can see what are the new ways of giving energy boosters to the audiences. It's more a PhD subject than actually a technology subject or a entertainment subject. Somebody can come out, this is the way you can give energy to the cells of humans. See, ultimately, हम लोग अगर CC रविशंकर का कोई भी आसन भी करते हैं and breathe a lot, what happens? All the cells within the body get more energy. Ultimately, more oxygen goes to them and they get energy. So other way of doing is give them waves out from outside and give them through frequency, give them energy. So ये थोड़ा subject PhD का है. There has to be some innovation from PhD side and finds new modes of energy and use those modes into entertainment. So
Makes
थोड़ा,
sense.
I think some time, but I think that's the way it would probably proceed is my theory. But how markets behave is completely different. How it evolves, I can only give you my perspective.
So
So
let's talk about the Broadway shows. Mughal Azam, one of the leading show of India. And I'm sure there are a lot of other amazing shows are being produced now. What do you see as the future, and what do you see as the biggest challenge for somebody who wants to get into such form of entertainment as in terms of the industry?
So, while live shows and cinema both are part of entertainment industry, but in terms of financial economics and the marketing or the audience behavior, they're very different. One of them is a super expensive product, and one is a mass product. I mean, mass means it's in the cost at the cost level. The cost level. Cinema is cost level. So the per ticket price is quite low. This per ticket price is quite high. Cinema typically works towards covering the entire cost within 1, 2, or 3 weeks. Entire cost. Then only call a cinema successful, whether it's in box office or Netflix or whatever. I'm going typically, not every cinema, generally. A Broadway show cannot make money in few weeks or even few months. The costs are not only high fixed costs, but also high variable costs. Cinema is high fixed cost, low variable cost, like a software product. High fixed cost, low variable cost. So if the more audiences come, you make large amount of contribution margin in terms of finance terms.
Yeah.
In a Broadway show, every show costs theater rent, the tech rent, artist performance fee, licenses, the cost is there. So there's not much of economy of scale in that. Cinema is a classic example of cinema economies of scale. Broadway show is not.
Got it.
So what is the benefit now to say a Broadway show? If it's not financial, what other benefit do you have? Okay, you can make money if you are the successful shows. But if you see there are 2 or 3 more benefits to the entire ecosystem. One, you give a platform to large number of artists to perform. Second, the kick that live audience gives to artists is far more than the applauses or likes they would get on internet or on cinema halls, because they don't have any interaction with the audience. This live.
Absolutely.
उसका कोई comparison नहीं है.
Yeah, the energy on both sides. Energy exchange, as you mentioned earlier, is on both sides, artist as well as the audience.
And जो kick मिलता है live audience के applause का, that kick is like bigger than any other kick in life.
100%. 100%.
So that is a non-comparable thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you think, if you are now asking me a question, if you are making a new Broadway show, whether, let me call from, let's say from an Indian perspective, okay, you have to understand that this is not a product that आप 3 हफ्ते में या 3 महीने में या 1 साल में 3 साल में शायद cost recover करेंगे. You have to continue to invest, but the life can be not just 3 months or 6 months. It can be 20 years also. Like for example, Mughal Azam 2016 we launched. Today we're in 24.
Yeah.
And we just January we had all sold out shows in Mumbai in the 8th season in Mumbai.
Wow.
8th season in Mumbai, more than 100 shows on perform, and 110th show also was like household show. Wow. So that is the power of a Broadway show or this kind of a show. The audience gets glued to it. Even after 7 years of the show happening, and for 60 years of the film happening, Mughal Azam 60 years old film, 7 years show chal chuka hai. Bombay mein lakhs of people have seen the show, but yet the show goes houseful. So there is a sort of a, these are not two comparisons. You can't compare them in terms of art economics or management side. They are two different products completely. So if somebody wants to really come, he has to have patience on financial side. He has to have artists dedicated for longer time. And he should have a management team that can manage the complexities in terms of the logistics, set movement, and marketing and finances. So it's a combination of art and management and sciences all together put it. That's what I would say. And not like a cinema, which is largely about art and marketing.
Largely. I can talk to you for hours and hours about this art form, and which is completely transforming. And Mughal Azam, we both know, has really changed the way we looked at the even Indian cinema, because typically there used to be plays, there used to be Broadway type act, and then it got converted into movies. It's other way around. Almost like in West, we are converting games into movies. So it's just absolutely fascinating. And who knows, games can be converted into Broadway shows. Well, the possibilities are endless. I'm sure somebody may be making notes on it. But you brought a very, very important point. Is energy. And I will just add for our audience sake is it's all about, even in a product, even in a startup, when you are creating a product, when you are creating a service, what kind of energy your customer feels? How are you creating that relationship with them? How are you building that connection with them? That's everything. And Mughal Azam has done a phenomenal job of connecting that. And I know your show is coming to US again. And I remember you mentioned that next year you may like to even go to smaller cities, not just the major megapolis kind of cities. So what is your plan for that? Can you share that with our audience?
Yeah. So that's a very, I would say, a question that's been in my mind for quite some time, and that our larger purpose of Mughal Azam for us at Shapurji Palanji is to actually propagate the Indian art form and Indian culture to larger audiences, because we have Kathak dances, we have Indian classical music that normally does not get such a big platform. So we see ourselves as a platform to propagate Indian classical art forms like Hindustani music and Kathak dances to people across the world. A large number of audience is Indian audiences, and they are not in one city. They are spread across US. So we have, in the first phase, which is last year and this year, worked out a model in which we can perform on 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday we pack up, what's called load out. Then Tuesday we travel within US, and Wednesday, Thursday we set up in the next venue.
Wow.
And trust me, setting up a Broadway show is normally a job of 5 to 10 days.
Yeah, it's
We are now doing it just 2 days, and on a touring platform. So again, it was Natak Mandli of 100 years back, which was in villages in India. We're actually replicating Broadway scale in America, in a geography of America, not geography of India. It's a huge geography to cover, and we travel from East Coast to West Coast. So now we have done it weekly, so that every week perform in different city. We can cover a wider audience. It's a more expensive, model, but at least it covers a larger geography. So the art and culture can spread across US.
Yeah.
And that's why I request Americans, at least Indian Americans, to at least support these kind of shows, because if one show becomes hit, there are many more shows that will come of that scale that bring Indian art to the Western audiences. Now what we're doing it, we are challenging ourselves. We have gone to all big cities like New York, Chicago, maybe LA, SFO. Can we go to next level of cities, like maybe, I would say Boston. Boston also quite big, but I mean, New York is bigger.
Huge.
Maybe Nashville, Detroit. Can we go to next level cities? Where it doesn't have that big of market, as big as New York or SFO or New Jersey, but still a good amount of market and a lot of art lovers. So why should these people be deprived of art? Is a question they're facing. So we are now working on a model in which we can perform on Tuesday and Wednesday in a small city. Then Wednesday, Thursday, we travel to next city. I mean, Thursday, Friday. And Saturday, Sunday, perform in big city. And the next Tuesday, we can perform in a small city. Then we can have turnaround much larger. And then probably it will become a self-sustaining model, which will it covers a cost. Now, this currently is still an expensive proposition and just leaves it break even only. Maybe probably if we can do to that level, we can cover 2 cities in one week, which is going to be a huge challenge in supply chain. Even this is a huge challenge in supply chain, but we have cracked it in America. But if we can do that, then I think it'll be a only Broadway show in the world which performs in 2 cities in the same week.
Wow, that'll be huge. That'll be huge. So you're bringing the experience to the audience. You're bringing it to their home, so more people can experience. That's phenomenal. Good luck to you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
Deepesh, any parting thoughts for our audience?
I would just say, when you say roti, kapda, makan, you all, most of the audience in PanIIT have crossed that barrier, or mostly, will believe across that. After kapda always makan comes entertainment, and after entertainment actually comes art. So if you see all the kings in the world, the big kings were art lovers. They contributed themselves. They loved art after they created palaces for themselves or everything for them. So all IITians typically reach that stage in some part of their life where they start loving art. So I think art can bring the kind of joy in your life if you connect to art that nothing else can bring to you. So I think just experiencing art form, any art form, I'm not just saying Mughal Azam, any art form in life would really give so much joy to your life. And I think you should experience that. It would be my parting statement for this discussion.
Deepesh, thank you so much. For our audience, I would like to summarize with three things actually, which Deepesh touched upon. One is really the energy, and that's very, very fascinating. Second is art gives you joy. So that's really, really very important point. And the last one really, which was part of his underlying message is connection. So connection in with your audience, connection with your friends, connection with your family. The importance of that is very high because he touched upon even, how chemically it can create experiences in our body, and that's what we look for when we go to Broadway show. Those emotions comes, those chemical get released, and that's how we experience anything. It's absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Deepesh, for your time today. I really had a lot of fun, and I'm sure audience will love your show, and audience will love to. How can they reach you if they want to reach to you?
So deepesh.salgia@gmail.com. My
Awesome.
name, dot surname @gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Deepesh, for your time today.
And thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, PanIIT, and thank you, audience, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.